Hello guys and gals, it is the Crappy Zipper and today I am bringing you a Champions Guide. Now this is a full in-depth guide. I'm going to be splitting it up into three parts talking about this specific champion. I will do an episode for every single one in the game. If you don't know what this game is, check out my review. I uploaded that a couple weeks ago. It's still in beta, but I am going to be doing a guide on all of these champions. And today I decided to start off with the most basic champion in my opinion because he's a running gunner, but he can be very good if you know how to use him. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you guys today. Now, I'm going to be splitting this up into three parts. First, I'm going to be going over the abilities which are right here. And then I will be going over on how to use him in the game, what he's good for, and I will go over the specific stats for all these abilities. And then, last but not least, I will go over loadouts, which for Viktor, it might not be too in-depth because I don't have a lot of these cards, but I will still tell you what I think is best for Viktor. So without further ado, let's get into part one, which is going over the specific skills. Now I will be going over all of Viktor's ability. Now I'm going to start with the left click to right click to F to Q and to his ultimate ability. So let's get right into his left click ability. This is Viktor's left click ability, and it is made to be used in unison with his right click ability, which we'll get into a second. This is called Assault Rifle. Now, it fires off one shot every 0.1 seconds that deals 130 damage. Now, the trick here is if you can hit all four of your first shots, they will do 50 extra damage, and this is just after reloading. Your first four shots in that clip will do an extra 50 damage. So that's his first ability, but it's supposed to be used with his right click ability, which is called Iron Sights. I know that's very original, but it is pretty self-explanatory. You right click to look down your iron sights, which gives you more accuracy when shooting, and it works like any other shooter, which is something I love about Viktor. If you are used to playing first-person shooters, I recommend picking up Viktor because he's going to be a very easy champion to get used to, and then you can kind of blend into the other champions as you feel. But like I said, you right click with your iron sights and shoot with your assault rifle ability, and it works out pretty well, as you will see in the gameplay. Now as you see, I'm attacking Androxus, and I think I pick up the kill off of just my normal attack, and then I get Drogos, I believe, with my normal attack, and I think I pick up a third kill, I'm not sure, but in that little snippet you can see that using your assault rifle can be very effective. And yeah, I mean, what else would you expect? And there we go, I got the killing spree, and then as you see there, I just threw my grenade and I missed the Androxus, but now I think is a good time to explain the grenade right after I pick up the kill. Now this is Viktor's Q ability, and it happens to be the only ability that has a cooldown for him. Now he throws a grenade, and it does 750 damage, and you can also cook this, and it's a very good strategy. If there's an enemy really close to you and you don't want to throw it and have the risk of it bouncing off something, you can cook that grenade, then chuck it right out and hit the enemy. It bounces off walls, it's very nice, and like if you're finishing someone off and they're out of range, just chuck a grenade and hope that you can hit them. It's a really good ability. It's not always necessary, but I'm about to show you a situation where I feel like I just destroyed the Viktor on the enemy team. Now here it is. I get in a gunfight with this Viktor, as you see, and he's low health, but I'm not, and I chuck the grenade over there, boom, and I end up picking up the kill, and that feels pretty great when you can pull it off like that in the game. However, it really can save your life in those situations where it comes up. Now, let's talk about his ability that's kind of there, but you never really think about it, and that is Sprint. Or by its official name, it's called Hustle. But yeah, out of all of his very simplistic and self-explanatory abilities, this is the most self-explanatory. They should have just called it Sprint. You just run faster. It's really good, and I think if you're not in combat, you should always be using this ability. And last but not least, we're going to be getting into his ultimate ability, which is Drumroll, please. Barrage, where you can bring up your little binocular things and kind of point out where you want these rockets to land. They fall from the sky and they do 1,400 damage each, and I think this is a very nice ability. Some of the ultimate abilities in this game are just too easy. I think this one is kind of a mix in between easy and kind of skillful because you have to land the shots right. You have to make sure you're not like putting it right above a shield or something like a Makoa shield. But this is right in that gray area where it's pretty powerful. I mean, you could take out an entire team with a very nicely placed barrage, but at the same time, you will get those points in the game where you just miss completely. So it's really in that gray area. So now that we've gone over all of his abilities, let's get into how I play him, how I think you should play him if you are just like jumping into this in the first champion that you play. Now he isn't a very tanky class, he is mainly there to put out damage, and he's not a flanker, so he doesn't have the best movement in the game. But what I do is I try to get up in the action. A lot of times I'll pick a point where I'm not directly in the action, but I'm kind of off on the side, but I still have a good vantage point where I can attack players. But other times I'll get right up on the objective and I will play very offensively, and I feel like that's the best way to play him. If you're too scared, you're not going to really be hitting all your shots, and you can do bad. I mean, he's a very simplistic character, but it's still possible to do bad with him. As you see there, I hate when I do that. I pop the ult and I don't even get to use it. And let's see here. Yeah, it put me down to 63% because I didn't actually use it, but I still like hit E, which used my ult. So I hate when that happens, but I pick up the easy kill off the Androxus there. So when it comes to Viktor, you just be conservative. Don't put all yourself out there. Use your abilities wisely. As you see, that Makoa kill right there is like the perfect kill. I got some damage on him with my first like 4 shots, so that's extra damage, and then I threw a grenade which hit him and which actually gives some impact damage, and then I got damage off the grenade, and then I finished him off with my gun. It's a perfect Viktor kill, and that's really how you should play it. You should use all your abilities in unison. As you see there, I reload and I try to throw a grenade, but Androxus ends up going in the air. And do I get the kill? I get the kill. It's Viktor's a very rewarding champion. I think, like I said before, this is definitely a good champion if it's your first time playing the game. So for the third and final part of my Viktor guide, I will be going over the loadout, and I think for Viktor, the basic loadout is the best. Hi-Rez does a good job on building these. Of course, they build the game, so they should know best. In future guides, I will be going over more in depth on different types of loadouts and ways you can play the game, but I think when it comes to Viktor, you can really decide for yourself. He's a very basic champion, so you can stem that off and build different ways to play with him in the game. But that's all for Viktor. I hope this helped you a little bit. Tell me if it did, and then leave your suggestions down if you want to see another one of these again. Which champion you might want to see next, because there's a lot, and we're going to do all of them. But I'd love to take your advice, and of course I would have to learn those champions, because I don't want to just be giving random advice. I've played a good amount with Viktor. I've also played a good amount with Androxus and Barrick. But that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the Crappy Zipper. I hope you all have an awesome day, and thank you for being a part of Team Crappy.